Right, okay, this is my first video. Today we're going to look at how did the Cold War actually begin. This is part of the History A specification for Edexcel Topic 1. Okay, so at the end of World War II, the big three, which was the USSR, the USA and the UK, made agreements to have three conferences, and in the conferences obviously they made agreements. At the bottom here we've got about the Tehran Conference. So Stalin wanted the Allies to attack Germany in Europe. Churchill wanted to wanted the attack to be in the Balkans, but Stalin objected as he wanted influence in Eastern Europe, the USA, Britain, and Western Europe. And I think he also thought that it was a bit too close to home ground, which obviously meant for him that it was a threat to him. So then the second conference, which was Yalta in 1945, the big three agreed that the USSR would help defeat Japan and all allies would work for democracy in Europe. The United Nations would also be set up to promote peace. Potsdam in 1945. Decisions were made on what to do with Germany, and they decided to prosecute Nazis as war criminals. The ones that were surviving anyway, unlike Hitler. Coward. And then they were also going to reduce the size of Germany by a quarter. They were going to also divide Germany into 4 zones. These zones would be held by the USSR, France, the USA and the UK. They would also, oddly, divide Berlin into 4 zones so that they all have a part of the capital. I don't really see the point in this because it was deep within the USSR's borderline, so obviously that was going to cause major upset, which later went on to cause the Berlin blockade, Berlin airlift, and the Berlin Wall. Bad times. There was also reparations would be paid from each zone. Moving on to the last bit. There was also some tensions at Potsdam, unlike the other conferences where they had Roosevelt, Stalin and Churchill, who were getting on quite well. I think Churchill had a bit of doubt in Stalin, but certainly Roosevelt and Stalin were getting on very well. Churchill was no longer the Prime Minister of England. There was a vote in that time between the two conferences, and Clement Attlee was introduced, and he had massive doubts about Stalin, and they had no trust whatsoever. And then also Roosevelt died, unfortunately. As we already know, he was handicapped, his legs didn't work, so he was in a wheelchair, and he was quite old. So he died, and Truman became the new president after being vice president. And Stalin was angry about this because they had quite a close bond, him and Roosevelt, at the time. So then there was more tensions between the big three, which caused disagreements. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I hope this was helpful for you. I'm going to go over the next topic in a few days. So yeah, comment down below if you need anything. Thanks.